Greeting YouTube family and friends. Coming to you again from Branson on what has turned out to be an eventful 2 weeks. There have been ups, there have been downs, there have been lots of surprises, so stay tuned while I go over some of that. I've mainly got three things I'm going to talk about, or try to keep it to three things. One is a new program I'm getting involved in. Two is the challenges of eating the carnivore way of eating or the keto way of eating while you're on the road. And then, this one also goes into it, kind of carb cycling / cheating while you're on the road. Today, I am 2 days from my 56th birthday. A very good long-term friend is on the road, heading south to join me this evening. I guess she's doing a mini vacation, but also here to celebrate my birthday. So this may be the last video that comes in before I turn 56, or we may do one tomorrow as a team at Aldi, trying to go over, the kind of foods that I buy in the grocery store. So let's dive right into this. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, the last video you saw here was my trip to the emergency room, which has given me the clearance to be able to drive home with no trouble in my brain. If you pay real close attention, you can probably notice that I'm a little bit more swollen. Let's use the word swollen because I didn't bring the scale with me, because I have not been on point ever since the ER visit. I'm not going to say for certain that I was on point before that, but that kind of knocked me off a course. I have gotten back on course to some extent, but I'm about to go off again for my birthday. So let's talk about that in the context of a special event and being on the road, being on vacation. I will say that my coach with Verda has been very supportive through all these challenges on vacation. And I told her the other day, I said, I think I figured out kind of what the problem here is. This town shuts down at 8 o'clock at night, and they're very strict on when they change menus from breakfast to lunch to dinner. So I found several, or at least 2, buffets. And I tell you, at 11 o'clock, breakfast is done. Then at 3 o'clock, lunch is done, or 4 o'clock, depending on which one you go to. And I'm not really up before 11 and out at a restaurant generally. I'm getting better because Dr. Mabry did send me some sleep tips, and I'm going to go over those real quick in the middle. Here's another tangent. I told him after the little brain scare, I had stopped drinking the drinks with aspartame. That's the diet drinks. I think that's what you call the sweetener in most diet sodas, which also meant I got off of caffeine. That lasted for 3 days. I actually had a Diet Dr. Pepper yesterday. So 3 days I was without caffeine, so I should have slept better. But I also stopped taking the Benadryl generic that I was taking in the evenings to help me go to sleep. So I had mentioned to him I wasn't sleeping as well. One benefit of being on this way of eating is that you probably need to supplement with magnesium, and magnesium acts as a sleep aid. Unfortunately, I'm almost out of the low dose ones, so I'm taking the higher dose ones which tend to have a fiber-like effect and get things moving through your bowel a little bit faster. So I try not to take those every night. But Dr. Mabry's tips were to take a warm bath before you go to bed, and I had told him at my previous doctor visit 3 months ago, that I often will use Epsom salt in a warm bath before I go to bed, because that absorbs the magnesium through your skin. And he said, well, if you do that, don't take a magnesium tablet. But since then I've learned you can't really overdose on magnesium. You probably don't want to get too much. I'm sure there's some effect, but there's no real harmful effects. But I bought Epsom salt with lavender scented oil when I got into town. 3 pounds of it, and I've already gone through all that, so I didn't take a Epsom salt bath last night. But he also said to, since I have an Android phone, to say, hey Google, play ocean sounds, or play rainforest sounds, or something to give me white noise, and then to say, hey Google, loop the rainforest or the ocean sounds. First night I did that, it was amazing. I took the warm bath, I took some melatonin along with my anticoagulant pills, and I turned on the white music and had it loop, the white noise, and had it loop with the waves hitting the beach, and I slept perfectly until the darn thunderclap woke me up the next morning, and then the tornado sirens went off. But because I work for the city, we have an app on our phones called Virgin Pulse, and if you buy a little watch from them, it tracks how long you sleep. I'd actually been asleep for 8 hours and 50 minutes that night, so I guess I really wasn't woken up early, but with the white sound and the warm bath, I was still sound asleep when the sirens went off. So I did manage to get downstairs. The all clear had already been sounded. So yeah, there was a tornado. Touchdown a little bit east of here, or I don't know if it touched down, they spotted one. There was very minimal damage done in this general area other than some flash flooding because the rain was coming down up to 1.5 inches to 2 inches an hour, which is a rather heavy rainfall. I'm going to grab a drink because I got the air on again. My City of Fort Worth Healthy Challenge cooler cup, brought that with me. Keeps that sparkling water cold all day. The ice doesn't melt too much. Anyway, sleep tips were one thing I wanted to go over. That was number 3. I forgot about that. I have it written sideways. But the challenges on the road, I'm going back to that. I don't get up necessarily early enough for breakfast buffets, though I found that if I eat a breakfast buffet with the scrambled eggs and the meats, they have ham, bacon, sausage patties. Some of them have sausage links. But I'm a big bacon and egg person, but the ham and the sausage at this particular Cajun style restaurant was very good. And it only cost like $9 for the buffet. So that gets me set until dinner time. Basically have gotten into the habit of eating 2 meals a day here. Sometimes at home I'll eat 1, sometimes I'll eat 2, but 2 is a good amount. And then I've been cooking in the unit at home, or in the evenings for dinner. Basically a pound of hamburger and about half a pound of melty cheese, I think is what it's called at Aldi's. It's their brand of Velveeta. It's got about 2 carbs per serving. So if I don't get any sausage gravy over a biscuit or a piece of French toast or something at breakfast buffet, those are the only carbs I have in the day. So let's go on to the next. It has been a challenge eating here. Like I was saying, my coach was telling me I'd done very good to figure out how to fit in with the schedule here, because I would just as soon eat at 9 o'clock at night, but all the restaurants are closed. The only thing going on at that time is the shows, and I did find one gym that was open until 10, so we had a big laugh that the gym, IHOP, and Denny's were probably the only thing open after 9:30 in this town, and maybe a bar. They don't have a whole lot of bars here though. And so you can go to IHOP, get fat, and then go to the gym and try to work it out if you're still under the old thinking that you need to exercise to lose weight. And then last but not least, some of y'all have been watching with me on Monday nights Dr. Eric Westman's How to Do Keto Simple live Facebook Live broadcast or YouTube Live broadcast from his Adapt Your Life Foundation, which their whole purpose is to teach you how to do keto simply. And in the last week he was pushing his Keto Made Simple Masterclass. I've been getting emails from him about it for several days now because they only open it for 5 days before it starts. And whoever signs up then is in it. Whoever misses it has to wait till like August before the next class. So I contacted Dr. Mabry and said, I have Verda. They're very helpful. Would it be any problem to sign up with Dr. Westman's class? He said, you can never go wrong with Dr. Westman. He's got a few little things that he is concerned about in how Dr. Westman approaches the keto diet, and I do too. They're a little bit different from Verda. Things like Dr. Westman counts cheese as fat, and Verda counts it as protein, so he wants you to limit to 4 ounces a day. Ugh, I ate a lot more cheese than 4 ounces a day, but I did go ahead and sign up for his program. It's $147 for the 3-week course, and then you have access to all the videos for the course online, and they put you in a private Facebook group that after the 3 weeks they archive. You can't add any more comments after that, but you can go back and read it. And Dr. Westman gets in the Facebook group. The lady that wrote the How to End Your Carb Confusion book with him will get in there. And the Adapt Your Life staff will get in there and answer questions. So hopefully I'll have some tips I can share with you on that. I did get access to his page 4, which is his food list, and that's where I saw the cheese is limited. They also limit your vegetables. Not that that's a problem for me, but what I have learned and what everybody needs to know is I'm not a doctor, but every doctor I have watched does keto a little bit differently. Dr. Hallberg that runs Verda has her approach. Dr. Westman, who's been a clinical researcher and medical doctor at Duke for over 20 years, sees patients in clinic, I'd say daily or at least weekly. So he has a lot of examples of what works in the real world, what doesn't work. And what I like about what he said, 2 things I like about what he says. He says his approach has to work the first time, every time, because clients or patients come to him from all over the country and probably all over the world. So they would be very upset if they put that expense out to come see him and his approach did not work. Now, of course, any approach is key to you doing it. And I honestly have not been doing it very well on this trip. Oh, that's my washing machine. I heard some noise in the background. But anyway, that's the beauty of keto carnivore. It's very forgiving. Yeah, I might gain a few pounds before I get home, but I've got this new program starting, or I could just get right back on Verda and clamp down when I get back in my own environment where I'm not having to basically eat on somebody else's schedule, which is very annoying to me because I like to eat only when I'm hungry, and then I eat to full, and then I want to eat again when I get hungry the next time. So that's difficult to do, and mainly because the lunch buffets here don't have good meats on them. They're cheaper than the dinner, and that's because they don't put as much meat out, and the meat they do put out is stuff like meatballs and meatloaf, which has additives and probably additional carbs. So I've been avoiding those, so that's limited me to the breakfast or the dinner buffets when I go out to eat. Although I did find an all-you-can-eat shrimp, and I am going back to that this afternoon, mainly because some of the staff there was so wonderful. I want to give them a discount card I got here that I haven't been able to use, so I'm hoping that one of them doesn't have it and can use it and will accept it. They are so nice. Everybody in this town is so nice. And then tomorrow I will probably get my birthday crab legs, some good ones, at Starvin' Marvin. And then I'm going to the Keeter Center at the College of the Ozarks, which is also nicknamed Hard Work University because the students are not in debt when they graduate. College of the Ozarks is a fully accredited college with a working farm and a working restaurant and hotel. So it's actually a farm-to-table restaurant. They grow the food. Some of the students work on the farm. Some of the students work in the restaurant. Some of the students cook under the supervision of a real chef. And then some of them work in the hotel or landscaping, but none of them, they have no tuition. They have no debt. They are good, solid American students coming out with a good Christian education and learning how to be servant leaders. So I feel very bad if I can't support that school while I'm here. So My birthday dinner, actual technical birthday dinner, will be with Beth tomorrow night at the Dobbins Dining Room at the Keeter Center. We probably won't have dessert, even though the milk and the ice cream is straight from the cow on the ranch, on the farm, I guess what they call it up here, just outside the window of the restaurant. But I'm not going to worry about it too much tomorrow. I'll get back in the swing of things Saturday or Sunday when I get home and really clamp down, and some of this extra jiggle will then go away. I've basically been out of ketosis for several days, and that's another thing I like about Dr. Westman. He says you don't have to be in ketosis to be on the keto diet and to still lose weight. I hadn't heard that before, but like I say, every doctor has their own twist and turn to this approach. What I like about him, one of the many things I like about him, is he's in the lab. He gets paid to do research and figure out what works best, and he's also up to date on all the latest studies. So yeah, that's it for today. I've got a lot to do. I've got the laundry going. I got dishes in the dishwasher. I got to get this place looking nice before my guests arrive, and I've got a lot of stuff to do running around town today. So I'm going to get some of those shrimp, even though the breading is high carb. I might be peeling off some of the breading, but I'm definitely going to have some of that jalapeno cornbread with lots of butter on it. I don't remember if, I think it came with French fries and coleslaw, so I'll probably eat the coleslaw and a couple of the French fries, but it's my birthday, so I'm celebrating. Past years, I celebrated for a month or more at a time. That's not happening this year. I thought 2 weeks was enough, and I've kind of been half and half celebrating. So if you feel like it, leave me a comment down below. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This channel is growing much slower than I had anticipated. So any more subscriptions, comments, likes, dislikes even, something to show me that somebody's out there and benefiting would be amazing to keep me going. We may do our first ever two-person video tomorrow. I'll ask my guest if she's up for it. But she does want to learn what to buy at the grocery store, so I may have her hold my phone instead of this Chromebook. But y'all have a great day. I'm going to try to get this loaded up, and maybe while I'm at lunch it'll post. Thanks for your support. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.